We'll sit up tall. Ground down through your sit bones and lengthen up through the spine. And you're just finding that comfortable seat. Feel free to sit up on a pillow if that feels a little bit better. So if you've been doing, as our routines after a month, we certainly do get in the routine of the new routine. But, for those, working at home and you're not maybe in an office chair like you're used to sitting at, so it may affect your lower back, right? Basically is what I'm getting at. So, or you're sitting a lot more, and that might affect your lower back. So if it does, this will be about lower back today. So if it does affect your lower back, just sit up a little bit on a pillow or a cushion and just raise the hips up. But you want to get the shoulders to roll back and lengthen the spine, the crown of the head. Just let your eyes close. And tune into the rhythm of your breath. Jenny, I just noticed you put a comment about the tripod. I will take you up on that. Somehow I have to get it from you though. So tuning in, I'm a little scattered today. Tuning into the rhythm of your breath. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And using that focus to really tune in. So not only feeling the breath move through the nostrils, but you're also feeling the breath expand the body. You're feeling that inhale expand through your belly and your ribs and your lungs, and you're feeling the exhale as the body contracts, but it also settles nicely as you exhale. So you can feel the weight of the body settling into the mat as you're sitting on your sit bones. You can feel the shoulders relax with every exhalation. So as you're inhaling, you want to feel that energy come in. As you exhale, you want to keep the energy, but you want to get the body to relax. We'll let go of any and all feelings of competition and judgments, expectations. Staying present with our practice, we can listen to the body and honor the body at all times. And we'll take our next inhale to reach the arms up. And we'll exhale to turn the palms away and either clasp the hands or bring the hands on the mat. Just whatever feels comfortable to you to just get that first big opening into the chest. And you're going to keep your right hand back behind you, but as you exhale, release the left arm and take it around to the right knee into a twist. And we'll inhale, we'll sweep the left arm back, and the left hand stays behind. We'll exhale and sweep the right arm around and into the twist. Inhale, sweep your right arm back, both arms are back behind you, take your exhale, and then inhale, sweep both arms up. And you're going to bring them forward as you exhale, and right into a nice fold. Let your head drop, and feeling your breath go into the back of the body. So keeping your body just relaxed into this fold. You're just really allowing it to slump forward. And imagine that breath is just moving completely through the back. You can feel that into your backs of your lungs, your back ribs. Feel that across the middle of your back. Feel that into the lower back. The front of the body relaxes and softens on the exhale. And when we come to our next inhale, we're just going to walk ourselves back up to our seated position. And then we'll switch the legs out. And readjust your sit bones. settling them in, lengthen up to the crown of the head, and just take this time, just for a couple breaths, to just resettle into your seat. And we'll take our next inhale, arms will reach up. And we're going to add the twist again. We're going to exhale, twist to the right. Take another inhale. Let your spine lengthen. Stay in your twist as you exhale, and just see if that can just move that just a little bit deeper into your twist. And then we'll come right back up on the inhale, turning center, and exhale, and we'll twist it to the left. Stay with your twist, but feel as you inhale, feel as you inhale, you're gonna lengthen. And the exhale, just relax as you deeper into the twist. And then both arms on the inhale, we reach up, we come to center, and we're gonna exhale the arms back again. Either clasp the hands or hands on the mat, roll the shoulders back. Exhale the arms forward, clasp your hands, push the palms away. And then inhale straight up to the ceiling. Take your inhale, and then exhale, release the hands, palms are gonna face forward, and you're just gonna let yourself drop into your fold again. And relax, so release the crown of your head. Again, imagine your breath, it's going into the back part of the body. You're feeling that, especially, the lower back and the mid back. That's really where we start to feel a bit of that achiness. And sometimes through the shoulders, we feel that in the upper back. But focusing really a little bit more on what you're getting through your lower and your mid back. Relax your belly as you exhale. Feel the front of your body just kind of soften. It doesn't collapse, it just softens. And we'll inhale as we look up, and we'll walk our way forward. So we're going to take just the right leg out at a bit of an angle, and you'll flex your foot. Left foot's going to stay tucked in. We'll take an inhale, and as we exhale, we're just going to walk ourselves forward. But this one, we're keeping an open chest. So we're not bowing all the way down. This is a little bit more, think of it as a chest opener. So you're just going to walk your hands forward and let your lower back just get a little lengthen out of it. So it's stretching, but it's a different stretch than just bowing forward. And you can play around with the more you flex your foot. That's going to change how this feels. And we'll take another few breaths here, but you can take some movement, maybe walk, kind of, not walk, but you're kind of swaying. You can try swaying side to side and see if just that opens up. It gives you just a little bit more release out of the lower back, but the chest is going to stay lifted. And we'll inhale to walk the hands back in, so we sit up tall. So we're just going to switch this out. Left leg goes out a bit of an angle, right foot tucks in. Give a little adjustment to your sit bones. Flex the left foot. Take an inhale, lengthen, and then exhale, and we'll walk us forward again. So again, think about lifting up through the chest, not folding in. So we don't want to collapse. We're going to open up through the chest, roll the shoulders back. Use your palms to really support you here. And again, you can play around with flexing a little bit more and seeing how that pull on the hamstring affects the lower back. It may be like a fantastic stretch, but it also may not. So that's why I say play around. Maybe you don't flex it as much. Maybe you flex it more. And then you can also do a little bit of that movement, just kind of swaying a little side to side and seeing if that just begins to bring you just a little bit more space into that stretch of your lower back. And then we'll walk it up as we inhale. And we'll release. So we're going to come up onto our hands and knees into tabletop. We'll stack the shoulders and the wrists and the hips and the knees. And we're going to start with a cat. And we're going to reverse how we normally breathe this. So normally I have you exhale into cat and inhale into cow. So we're going to reverse that. You're going to inhale into cat. And exhale as the belly drops into cow. And it's really a very subtle change on how this movement, changing your way you're breathing into it, affects the body. How it affects that stretch into the back and how it affects the stretch into the front of the body as well. It, in a sense, limits it a little bit because it's, I think, counterintuitive. But we'll take one more. And after we release from cow, we're going to drop it back into child's pose, and we'll walk the hands forward. Now you can take your knees wide if you'd like, or you can keep the knees closed in. It's really dependent on what feels better to you. I do want to get a little stretch into the chest and the shoulders, so we're keeping the arms extended forward. But you can keep the elbows up, or you can drop the elbows. Find what feels better to you. Head releases to the mat. And we'll get a little side stretch. So we're going to walk the hands over to the right edge of the mat. And if you'd like, you can shift the body a little bit to the left so you feel your hip shift over your heel. And we'll switch that out. Just slowly walk over to the left edge of the mat and maybe shifting your right hip a little bit to the right and just increasing that stretch. And we'll walk it back into the center, and we'll come back up into tabletop. So we'll return to cow and cat, but this time we will move through it as we breathe, as we normally do into this. So you're going to inhale into cow as the belly drops, and exhale cat. And not so much that you want to compare it to be like, what is better than the other, but you do want to just observe and just see if this does feel different than you did it from the other way. And maybe you like it better this way, maybe you like it better the other way. I'm just breathing differently into it. But, you know, being aware of these little changes, these subtle differences as we breathe and move. And we'll take just one more round. We'll release from cat, and again we're going to drop it back into child's pose. But this one you could change the arms. If you would rather take the arms back towards your feet, or you'd rather stack the arms to rest your head. Do what feels comfortable to you. If you want to take your knees out wide or bring them closer in, also up to you. Let your head just drop and feel, just like we were doing those seated forward folds, really feeling the body relax as you're breathing into the back of your body. I'm just staying here. I'm just getting up to get my water. And take another couple breaths here. And then we'll come back up into our tabletop. We'll get everything lined up again. Shoulders and wrists, hips and knees. And let's take our left leg back. We'll keep the ball of the foot down. We'll start to really get a good stretch into the back of the leg. Just push back with your heel. Feel that stretch into your calf. And begin to draw the belly in towards your spine. Just really finding, again, as you do this, you're going to get a strong core and keeping the spine in neutral. And as we inhale, we'll stack the shoulders again. And then let's take this into full spinal balance. The left leg goes back and the right arm comes forward. Keep your belly in towards your spine. I'm going to face you guys. Keep your belly in towards your spine. Lengthen the tailbone from the crown of the head. I'm feeling very strong through your core. We'll take one more inhale and exhale to release. So we'll switch this to the other side. So the right leg will go back first by itself. Ball of the foot stays down. We'll begin to push back through the heel, and you're shifting slightly back, and then we're going to draw the belly in towards the spine. Feel the tailbone lengthen, so you begin to feel very engaged through your core center. The whole torso starts to really work into this as you're pushing back. And then we'll move this into spinal balance as we inhale, and we're shifting forward to stack. Right leg goes back, left arm comes forward. Again, I'm just going to face you. Keeping the belly in towards the spine, tailbone from the crown of the head. Maybe feeling every inhale, we can lengthen the arm and the leg a little bit more. And we'll exhale to release. We're going to drop it back into child's pose again. And as you're sitting back into your child's pose, relaxing into it, just tuning into what you're feeling. Not feeling both physically and mentally. So, and not just into the lower back, but feeling how this feels on your hips, how your chest feels coming forward, what your breathing is like. Is the breathing comfortable? Do you feel a little constricted in your breathing? So maybe take the knees wide if you do. And we'll start to make our way, let's come up into a downward facing dog. And just take your time. As you tuck your toes and you lift the hips up and you push your hips back, and we'll pedal the heels out a few times. And then from our down dog, we're going to go ahead and bring the knees back down. Lower down onto your forearms. We're going to come into Sphinx. As always, you have the option to take a forearm plank for a breath or two if you'd like. But when you feel ready to release it, we'll come into Sphinx on the belly. Chest is lifted up, shoulders rolled back. We'll take one more inhale, and we're going to push it right back up into down dog. And again, some pedaling out of the heels. Staying in your down dog, we're going to just find a little bit of stillness. So we're going to push the hips back and let the heels stretch a little bit more into the mat. It's not about them being on the mat. It's what you're doing to push your hips back. So the more that you push your hips back and you stretch into the backs of the legs, the heels just tend to draw towards the mat. So it's not that they have to be on the mat. I think that's really a matter more of the bone structure of your ankle. So we'll take another breath in, downward facing dog. And we're going to walk our way forward to a fold. You'll come into your forward fold at the top of the mat, and then we'll just drop this into a ragdoll. So walk your feet out, soften your knees, take hand to elbow, letting the head hang heavy. And just relaxing in ragdoll, so making any movements here that feel good. So maybe sway the whole body side to side, or move the arms, move the head. I'll take just a couple more breaths here. And then we're going to roll the spine up. So when you feel ready, arms are just going to hang heavy. Keep a bend in your knees. Push firmly into your legs, into your feet. And roll up the spine. So the head comes up last. And the shoulders roll back. So once you're at the top, you're going to bring your feet into that hip width distance. Inhale, sweep the arms out. Exhale, release your arms, reaching back behind, open up through the chest. Take an inhale. Exhale, arms forward, clasp the hands, push the palms away. Take an inhale, push up. Bring your palms together, steeple your index fingers. What's nice with the phone, I don't have to worry about cutting the top of me off. Take an inhale, exhale to your right. Inhale, reach up, and exhale to your left. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, release the arms. So from the top of your mat, we're going to inhale into chair, and we're going to keep the hands to the heart. Actually, I'm going to face you, sorry. So we're going to take an inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to drop a little bit deeper. Take an inhale, exhale, drop a little bit deeper. Take an inhale, exhale, drop a little bit deeper. And then as you come to your next inhale, lengthen. We're going to throw in a twist. Exhale to your right. Take your left elbow to the right knee or right in between the knees and just twist. Just give yourself just a comfortable twist. We don't have to crank it here, just a comfortable twist. And we're going to keep the knees flushed so the hips stay squared. And then we'll inhale, look down, and exhale to slowly take that twist to the other side. Right elbow to left knee or in between the knees. And again, we're going to keep the knees flushed. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, untwist. Fold all the way down, keeping your knees bent. Drop your head. And then hands to shins. Push the legs straight as you inhale. Chest comes forward. Exhale, fold in. Step it back into downward facing dog. Now if you want to add a vinyasa here, feel free. If you just want to stay in down dog or take a child's pose, whatever you feel you need to do. We'll take another couple breaths here in down dog. And then from here, we're going to bring the right foot forward and lower the left knee. So finding yourself in a deep kneeling lunge, we're going to push the hips back, give a little stretch into your right hamstring. And like we were doing the seated fold where we had one leg out at the angle, we're going to bring the chest forward. So again, I'm not looking to bow over the leg. I'm looking to roll the shoulders back, find a little opening into the chest and the shoulders, and you'll get that deeper pull on the right hamstring for sure. And then we'll shift it forward, tucking the left toes under, and we're going to lift up into Warrior Two. Let the shoulders relax. Feel the stretch of the arms reaching. Keep the right knee tracked over your ankle and the pinky toe side of the foot. Stay strong and grounded to the outer edge of the left foot. So we're going to move this into reverse warriors. The right palm flips. Let's take the arm up. And maybe the left arm rests to the leg or goes around the back. We'll take another inhale, stretch it out, and then exhale, returning to Warrior Two. Let's add triangle. We'll straighten out the right leg and slowly take that reach over the leg as we release into triangle. Right arm down, left arm up to the ceiling, or around the back, or just hand to the hip. Keep the engagement of your belly to the spine, tailbone from the crown of the head. So again, we're getting longer. Think of the spinal balance engagement, tabletop engagement. It's all the same that we want to do in triangle. And it really helps protect the lower back. It helps to strengthen and protect it. We're going to move this into pyramid. So as we exhale, we're going to take the left hand down and we'll walk our left foot forward a few inches. About three inches or so. And then turn your left foot so it's facing more towards the front left corner of your mat, or you can spin it like railroad tracks, and they're about a hips width distance or so if you do railroad tracks. Whichever one feels more comfortable to you. And if your hands are to the mat, you'll just use that support. If they're not reaching the mat comfortably, take one hand on your right thigh, left hand's on your shin, and use that support. Now this one you can do either way. You can keep the chest coming forward, or you can go ahead and bow it in. It might feel really good to just bow that in and letting your nose fall towards your knee. So we're going to add a little balance into this. So we'll come up about halfway and we're going to bring the hands onto the hips. We'll lean into the right leg, put a little bend into the knee, shifting forward, and then slowly lift the left leg as we move into a warrior three. Now you can keep the hands on the hips, you can take the arms out wide, you can take the hands to the heart, you can give yourself, really the biggest challenge of this posture, if you want to go for it, is the arms go overhead like you would do a warrior one. Think of spinal balance, hips stay squared, strong left leg pushing back. We'll take one more inhale. We're going to slowly release the hands down as we exhale and step it back into our down dog. Now you can add a vinyasa here, or you can stay in downward facing dog. So we'll just do the second side, and then we'll get to stretch it out nicely on the mat. So when you're ready from your downward facing dog, we'll take the left foot forward. Take your time, bring your right knee down, staying here into this kneeling lunge. And as we exhale, we're going to push it back, straightening the left leg, flex the foot. And this one, we're going to bring the chest forward, trying not to bow in. But think of like if you had a light in your chest and you're trying to shine it ahead of you. And we'll shift forward as we inhale. We're stepping into warrior two. So we'll tuck the right toes under as we spin the heel, and we'll come up into warrior two. Keep your left knee tracked over the ankle, pinky toe side of the foot. Solid, strong in the legs, grounding to the outer edge of the right foot. Chest is lifted up, shoulders relaxed, and actively reaching the arms as if you're trying to push something away from you. So you're really actively reaching out through your fingertips. And we'll reverse our warrior. Flip the left palm, inhale. Reach up, right arm goes to the leg or goes around your back, whatever you prefer. One more inhale to just give that a little extra stretch. And we'll exhale to return to warrior two as we straighten the left leg, and we'll start to inhale into triangles. We reach out and releasing down. Right arm to the ceiling or around your back, or maybe just the hands to the hip. Think of your core strength here. Trying not to collapse. It's very easy to, I think, forget about that, right? That we're not collapsing into the leg or dropping even into the left shoulder. We are lifted and opening up and using the strength of our core. And we'll take another inhale And then the exhale, the right hand comes down. So we're going to prepare for pyramid. So we'll step the right foot forward a few inches. Okay, it's about 3 or so. And you're either going to point your toes to the right front corner of your mat, or you just spin your heels straight back and you're like railroad tracks. But you got to go a little bit wider if you do the railroad tracks. It is up to you. We'll lengthen up to the spine. And then yogi's choice, how you're going to stretch this out. Either keep the chest forward, like we did in that runner's lunge, or we did in the seated wide-legged fold, or you're going to bow it in. Hands are either going to rest to the thigh and the shin, or hands to the hips. Or you can do both hands on the thigh. You're just finding whatever gives you the best support if your hands don't reach the mat. And if you don't have blocks or anything, I did not talk about having props ready if you had them. And we're going to prepare and move ourselves into our balance, into Warrior 3. So we'll come up about halfway and we'll bring the hands onto the hips. And we're going to shift the weight forward and put a bend into your left leg as you come forward and pop the right leg up. Flex your foot. My head's going to go right, right into my kodos. And then you can either keep the hands on your hips, you can go out wide, you can go overhead, you can go to the heart, finding your balance. But think about drawing the belly into the spine and lengthen the tailbone from the crown of the head, and the energy you're putting into your right leg, because that's really what helps a lot of your balance. And it's because we're coming so far forward and we're creating that balance to make that T formation. So we got to push back to the right heel. We're going to take one more inhale, and the exhale, the hands will come down, and we'll begin to step it back into our down dog. And taking our last vinyasa, if we want it, always the yogi's choice. And we'll meet in child's pose. If you want to stay longer in down dog, go for it. Stay longer. It's really, it's wonderful teaching in live in the group, right? We have everybody around us. We can feel the energy. And one thing that's really, really nice about about practicing without the people around you is it takes away sometimes that feeling of being self-conscious, of thinking, I actually just want to stay here and not worry about what the rest of the class is doing. Because now you can. You can do really whatever you like and just listen to the sound of my voice if you want. I wouldn't know. But so it's nice. You can really vary it, and knowing that even if the class moves on, you join in whenever you want, and you don't have to worry or think about, what is everybody else doing? Or am I going to bother somebody else if I am doing something different? So if you are in child's pose, we'll take another couple breaths. If you're still in down dog and you want to bypass child's pose, that is fine. But if you do want to take a couple breaths in child's pose and you're ready to join in with us, go ahead and release into that for just a couple breaths. Just really relax and feel that stretch into your back as you inhale. I love that. You just feel that nice big stretch into your back. But we'll unfortunately be coming out of child's pose. So when you come to your next inhale, you're going to slowly walk yourself up, and we're going to come right onto our backs. So when you're here on your back, you're going to pull the knees in, and we're going to rock it out side to side and just massage into the back. Sometimes it feels good to keep your knees together and placing the hands on the kneecaps, and you circle the knees around. That feels really good. If you're doing the circling motion, take about 3 rounds in one direction and then 3 rounds in the other direction. And then whenever you're ready, you're going to come into happy baby. Your choice, either the soles of feet together or the soles of feet to the ceiling. And again, we're going to just kind of play around with this and rock it out a little bit. You can, if you're in the full happy baby, you can play around with stretching one leg at a time as you go over to that side. And that might feel really good. And you can kind of circle as well in a happy baby. And then we'll release, and we're going to take a nice cool down figure 4. Cross the right ankle over the left knee. Keep your right foot flexed. There's always the option to keep your left foot down, or the left leg comes up and the hands come behind the thigh. And letting your eyes close and just tuning into what you're feeling, where you're feeling it, how you're feeling this. And we're going to go ahead and release the left foot. So we'll keep our figure 4 position. We're taking our figure 4 twist. So you'll just drop over to the left side, lean on the sole of your right foot, extend the right arm out. And then either keeping your right knee towards the ceiling, which changes the twist. It just changes the stretch through your hip. But if you want to take it more of a twist, just drop your right knee all the way down to the floor and take that deeper into a twist. And when you feel ready, you can stay here longer and just, you guys have been practicing with me for a long time, so you pretty much know what I do. But you can stay here longer if you want. Otherwise, inhale, come up, and you'll release. Adjust your back, because that probably shift a little bit. And then we'll come into figure 4 on the other side. And just tuning into what you're feeling, where you're feeling it, how it feels to you, even mentally. So we talk a lot about how things feel physically, but how they feel physically affects how it feels mentally. So if something feels agitated, it's making your mind agitated, it's something to think about what you're feeling physically and doing what we can do to alleviate that so we don't have that agitation. So whenever you're ready, you're going to release the right foot. We're taking the figure 4 twist. So you stay with your ankle over the knee. We drop over to the right side. So we land on the sole of the left foot. Left arm extends. And then that choice again. You're either going to keep the left knee more towards the ceiling, because that's going to affect it one way, or you drop the left knee to the floor and that affects it another way. And one way on one side might be different. So just really tune into what works for you here. What is it that's going to help relax and release the lower back, stretch out through the chest and the shoulders, and also relax the mind, getting your body and your mind to start to wind down. You could stay here longer if you'd like. But if you're ready to come up, you'll inhale to come up. We'll release that. And again, just the back. So one more big push before Shavasana, and we're going to come up into bridge. So whenever you're ready, walk your feet towards your sit bones. Make sure you can feel your knees are lined up over your ankles. Arms to our sides, palms down. And then we'll push firmly into the feet to lift up. And we'll roll the shoulders back. So I think it was Wednesday, I was talking about how important it is to open up the chest in bridge, of really getting that big expansion, because it helps, it supports really the body to lift up. I mean, everything works in it, your quads, your hip flexors, your hips, but that opening in the front of the body really helps support the back of the body in bridge. We'll take another inhale, really give it a good push up, and then exhale to slowly roll down. And once you've released, you're going to pull the knees up. And then one last nice stretchy thing before Shavasana. Keep your right knee into the chest, release your left leg, stretch out your left leg. Pull the right knee in as close as you can. If you really feel like giving it another push, it might feel good to you to curl up into the towards the knee. That's fine, go for it. And then we're just going to switch that. When you're ready, left knee pulls up, right leg releases, pushes out through the heel. Again, you can give yourself a little curl up if that feels good to you. And we'll go ahead and release. If you find that there's something else that you would like to do, maybe take a recline bound angle, maybe it's another happy baby, maybe it's just bringing the knees together, walking the feet apart, and getting your mind and your body start to settle in. Feel free to take it at any finishing pose you'd like to do. If you're ready for Shavasana, move into Shavasana. And if you always have the option, you don't need to come out of this when I do, or when I might, and when I'm ending the class, you could stay longer. But as a class, we'll stay with this for about another 2 minutes, minute and a half, 2 minutes. You can focus on the release with your breath. You can allow every exhale to help you release deeper. You can feel that from the crown of your head, and just working your way down through your forehead, your cheeks, your jaw, your neck, throat. Feel the release of your shoulders, the heaviness of your arms, because you're letting the bones just drop and the muscles to soften and relax. Softening through the torso, so you feel that in the front of the body as you do feel that release into the back of the body. Letting your hips feel heavy, relaxing your legs. Same thing as the arms, you're just releasing their bones to make them muscles relax deeper. Relaxing through your ankles. Give about another few, 10-15 seconds. And you can stay in this as long as you want. I do the shorter Savasanas in these classes because you have more permission to stay longer, right? You can come out of this whenever you feel you want to come out of it. You do not need to come out of it now. But if you feel like it is enough for you, you can certainly begin that increasing of your inhales and movements, and you can reach the arms up when you're ready. And if you'd like, you can meet me up in a seated position. If you're staying on your back, enjoy. Stay as long as you like. But I will close our session with an inhale. If you're with me, you can reach the arms up. And we'll bring the hands to the heart. So whether you are seated or you are still in your Shavasana, thank you so much for joining me and practicing with me today. Have a wonderful rest of your day, a wonderful weekend, and I will be back on Wednesday. Namaste.